This video is part of a series of videos showing how I make a quiet book using dies. To learn more about this project, please see the introductory video. For the next page of our quiet book, I wanted to make a fun, interactive page with hair that you could brush. I went a bit crazy and added maybe too much hair, but let me show you how I did it. For the head, I used this die set from Pocketful of Happiness. This is a really neat die set, designed to make a fun flower headdress, but I'm just using the head part. I cut all the parts that I wanted to use from felt, and I ironed Handbound onto the felt before I cut it out. I had a piece of this animal print felt that I thought would be really fun for the top. I ironed all the pieces in place, and then I embroidered them with matching floss. For the necklace, I sewed tiny beads in place over the felt. I sewed through the beads many times to keep them secure. Omit this part if you're concerned about tiny pieces. French knots would also be really cute. For the hair, I wound yarn around a cardboard piece that was about 10 inches long. Then I carefully removed the yarn and placed it on a piece of copy paper that had been folded in half and then opened up. I put another piece of copy paper that was also folded in half and then opened over the yarn, lining up the center folds. With my sewing machine, I sewed right through those 3 layers along the fold marked in the paper. Next, I carefully tear free the paper from both sides, and I'm left with hair that's ready to sew on. I fold the yarn in half along that sewn part, trim the threads on the ends, and next, I cut an extra body from felt to use for sewing the hair into place. And starting at the nape of the neck, I sew the hair around. None of these stitches will show, and it's really tricky to sew through all of that yarn. I sew in vertical rows from the nape of the neck up to the top of the head. Don't worry if your stitches are messy, none of this will show. Next, I cut the loops of yarn to free them. I fanned the hair out and arranged it. Next, I placed the embroidered face and body over the body that we just sewed the yarn into place, and I placed it stitch side up with the hair side down. Next, I sew around the face, securing the hair part to the embroidered face, and I sew it on using a whip stitch. I used Eileen Hall's steel roll die Handbound journal to cut a base layer of the page from felt. I sew the doll down with the hair side facing the page. And now I'm not going to lie, this is a lot to sew through. I first sew down the head and shoulder part with a running stitch. And when I get to the hair part, I put the new stitch through the whip stitch that I made when I sewed the two heads together. For the pocket page, to hold the comb, I used the same Eileen Hall die to cut out the page, except I flipped it so the scallops are on the left. Next I used this die by Momenta. I don't think it's still available, but any gift card envelope die should work. I used the die to cut some printed felt, and I also cut a piece of fabric that I first ironed heat and bond to. Next, I fused the fabric to the patterned felt using my iron. And while I was there, I also used the iron to press the envelope folds, and I clipped them closed. I decided to use my sewing machine to sew the envelope straight to the page. So I replaced the clips with long straight pins. Next, I carefully sewed the envelope in place, including sewing along the top of the envelope to help keep this envelope flap down. I'm going to admit this turned out a little bit crazy, but I think it's a fun page, and it's definitely interactive. I hope you like this page. Stay tuned to see what's next in our quiet book. Hey, if you like this project and want to see more like it, let me know by giving me a thumbs up, subscribing, and leaving a comment. Take care.